A family invasion. One thing that's not spoken of very often, especially when you're doing your research and planning your budget and all of the other components that come with retiring here overseas, is the family. It is not a female problem. It is a cultural reality. Family is simply woven into the fabric of the society. And it is something that if you allow it can end up costing you more per month than your rent or not. Just depends on how you approach it. And that's what I want to talk about in the upcoming video. So how in the world does this get started? What is the genesis of this family invasion? The usual story, and I can speak with a little bit of authority about this because it happened to me. And after being here for 9 years, I've watched it happen to countless other guys. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that it is a real thing. True story. Now, how it generally starts off is you meet Mrs. Right and everything is copacetic. You're getting along famously. She's treating you better than you've ever been treated before. She's very sincere. She's not trying to take you for some kind of a ride or a scam or anything like that. And you're convinced that everything is finally going right in your life. And after about 3 months or so, the cousin comes by just to say hi and see what's going on. And she lives a couple of islands away. So, hey, is it okay if my cousin stays with me for a few days just to kind of keep me company? And what are you going to say? No? Get out of here? Of course not. You're a compassionate person. You don't see any harm in it. And it might be fun to have somebody else around for a while. Might actually free you up a little bit. Maybe she can stay at home and chicka with her cousin and give you some time off by yourself. Because up till now, she's been clinging to you every second of every day, not letting you out of her sight. So now the cousin's here, everything's going fine. And what do you know? Her sister, she's come by also. And same scenario, just came by to say hello. Then her mom pops in. Again, family is so integral out here. You can't deny her time to spend with her sister or with her mother. You see, back in where I'm from, in the States, the only real close relatives that I ever had was my immediate family, mama, papa, siblings. The rest of the crowd, I got to see them once a year at Thanksgiving. That is not the case out here. These people were raised and understand and cherish the community, the family. There are many of them that the family has been many times their lifeline, their life support, the place that they can go and feel safe and no longer alone. They can share time, they can share meals, and it's just part of their nature. It is ingrained. And who are you to try to put a stop to that? In fact, it's kind of refreshing. Wow, it's nice to see somebody close to their mom and close to their sister and close to their cousin. And then next thing you know, now the other cousin, that's a boy, he wants to come over because, well, he wants to start school down the street. And the next thing you know, on and on it goes. You've got 7 people living in your house. And you're like, how did this happen? It was just sort of like this slow burn that all of a sudden caught fire, and you're finding yourself feeding this one and taking that one to school, taking this one shopping, and not just the budget that gets harmed in all this, but in my heart and mind, what happens is you start to feel a little resentful. And when you approach the topic of maybe we should thin the herd a little bit, you know, she looks hurt. Oh, what's my sister doing wrong? Is there a problem? My mother, she's elderly. I feel compelled that we should, I should at least help her. I promise you we won't spend a lot of money, but promises, promises. Guess what? You went from one mouth to feed to 5 or 6 extra. The kid going to school, well, he's going to need, school clothes and pencils and papers and all that kind of stuff. And guess who they're going to turn to? It's not mom. It's going to be you. So this is what I've observed happening. Now, there's a good side to this. I have met men, I know them. In fact, I know one right now that's getting married this month. He met a woman with 3 children, and he is happy as a pig in shit. Because you know what? He never got to start a family back in the States. And he always wanted to have that role. So what did he do? He moved out of his little bachelor pad at $10,000 a month, and he rented a house for 25,000 pesos per month, and he's housing everybody. And he's been doing that for more than 2 years. And this month, God bless him, congratulations, he's getting married, and he wants to make it permanent. And I commend him for that. This can be an opportunity for people to really get what it was they were truly missing in the Philippines. Not sex, not love, not affection, but the family that they never had before. Well, every good side has a flip side, and that's a bad one. Now you're finding yourself in a position where you've got all of these people in your home, and they're starting to strain your budget. And you're in the uncomfortable position of having to ask them to leave. I've known guys that have just simply said, you know what? After trying to get everybody to leave, and they wouldn't, they just said, okay, I'll leave. Here's 2 months worth of rent, and here's some money for food. Hasta la taco. I'm out of here. And he's off to another place or another island, renting another bachelor pad, thinking, man, I'm not going to let that happen again. They're going to break the bank. I met a woman when I first came here. We were together for 3, maybe 4 months. And she assured me that I knew for a fact that she was a single mom. And I knew that she had 2 children, 2 adult children. One of them was 21, one was 22, both girls, and they lived way the hell down on the southern tip of Mindanao. They were 24 hours away by boat, ferry, trike, hubble, you name it. And she assured me, oh, they're grown up. They're going to college. Their father's down there. We have a house for them that they stay in. They're never going to be a problem. Au contraire, mon frere. One day, hey, would it be okay if my kids just came up to see me and they'll just stay for a couple of days? I said, yeah, sure, why not? Who am I to deny you time with your children? Well, they came all right. And you know what they wanted to do? They wanted to eat in nice restaurants, and they wanted to go shopping. They didn't want to go okay. They wanted to go to Robinson's and pay retail plus 10% on Uncle Paulie here. Well, that was the beginning of the end for her and I, because not only were her kids trying to take advantage of me, it was spearheaded by her. And I realized at that point in time that I was just the proverbial ATM, and I was not going to be used. So, what is the answer to keep yourself out of this quagmire? Here is my humble opinion. And I think this applies to all parts of all relationships, family, no family, money, you name it. I think What I believe to be tantamount in this situation, when moving in with somebody and having them living with you on a full-time basis, is to immediately, truthfully express what your boundaries and your expectations are. And once you've done so, I would mention that she needs to repeat those back to you just to clarify she understands, acknowledges, and most importantly, accepts those boundaries and honors you with it. One of the other biggest problems that I see when people start living with you from outside, family members, is loss of privacy. Remember those first 3 months that we were living together and everything was hunky-dory? Well, what happened on the times that we were feeling a little frisky and maybe we wanted to get romantic with one another? Well, it didn't matter what time of day it was. It didn't matter what room we were in. Nothing mattered. We just had our intimate time together, and that was that. The moment somebody else is injected into the picture, that spontaneity goes right out the window. Now you've got to be careful, and you have to almost plan that time together. It's like when your kids were little, if you had kids, and they just come bursting into the bedroom, or, say, hi, mommy, hi, daddy, and jump in the bed with you. Well, it's not that bad, but you still have lost that privacy, and most importantly, you've lost the spontaneity. So again, I repeat, as I often seem to do, just set up the boundaries. If you want people to live with you, it's something that you desire, it makes you happy, you want to raise someone's kid or kids, the cost could be anywhere from $200 for one kid, that's the number I got from one of my friends, to $700 to $1,000 for 5 or 6 people. That's a number I got from another friend of mine. Now, if 6 or 7 or 800 or $1,000 to them is the same as $60 or $70 to me and you, no harm, no foul. As long as they are not being used and abused, because that would really hurt. No one likes to be taken advantage of. But if you're confident that you're not enabling, but you're simply allowing someone to get a leg up in life. You're helping a kid go to a better school. You're helping the mother get some full-time care. You're allowing the cousin to get out of the situation she's in, which may be a bad one, and be a companion to your companion, giving you some free time when you need it. That's cool for school. I don't believe there's any right or wrong answer here, unless it's something that just creeps up on you and you find out later that that was the plan all along. Now you've got a bad situation, and I can guarantee you it's only going to get worse. Well, that's my speech. That's my video for the day. If you guys think I'm full of shit, feel free to mention it in the comments. And if you want to change things up and say something nice, you can make that comment also. All right, boys and girls, I'll be seeing you hopefully in the next video.